है और यही जो प्रधानमंत्री की शैली है ये लोगों में अपनत्व की भावना को जगाती है। एक विश्वास लोगों में पैदा होता है जब प्रधानमंत्री उनके बीच में होते हैं। जो लोग हैं उनका आत्मविश्वास बढ़ जाता है प्रधानमंत्री के वहां होने से, और यही वजह है कि इतनी भीड़ वहां पर दिखाई दे रही है। प्रधानमंत्री के अभिवादन में ये जो हर्षोल्लास के स्वर हैं ये भी अपने आप में काफी कुछ कहते हैं। जिस तरह से लोग प्रधानमंत्री का अभिवादन कर रहे हैं, प्रधानमंत्री का स्वागत कर रहे हैं और प्रधानमंत्री जिस तरह से स्वीकार कर रहे हैं उनके अभिवादन को, उनके बीच में जा रहे हैं, उनसे मिल रहे हैं। मोदी मोदी के नारे यहाँ तक सुनाई दे रहे हैं। अपने आप में महत्वपूर्ण प्रधानमंत्री का ये रोड शो बेहद अहम है गुजरात चुनावों में, गुजरात चुनाव प्रचार में, जिसमें प्रधानमंत्री मोदी स्वयं धुआंधार प्रचार में उतरे हुए हैं और ये रोड शो दिखाता है। और ये देखिए किस तरह से जो महिलाएं हैं और छोटे छोटे छात्र छात्राएं और बच्चे भी दिखाई दे रहे हैं। छोटे छोटे बच्चे प्रधानमंत्री को देखने के लिए, उनकी एक झलक के लिए आतुर हैं और कितनी प्रसन्नता के साथ वो इंतजार कर रहे हैं कि प्रधानमंत्री यहाँ पर आएंगे, प्रधानमंत्री का वो स्वागत करेंगे और प्रधानमंत्री स्वयं उनका अभिवादन स्वीकार करते हुए। तो बेहद अहम इस बार के ये चुनाव हो जाते हैं। सूरत को बीजेपी का गढ़ कहा जाता है। बीजेपी ने अपनी पूरी ताकत वहां पर झोंक दी है। जो लोगों का विश्वास है, जो प्यार है, उसको बनाए रखने के लिए सूरत पर चुनावी लड़ाई भी इस बार काफ़ी दिलचस्प है और उसी को देखते हुए ये रोड शो भी काफ़ी अहम हो जाता है। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी वहां पर लोगों के बीच में जाते हुए, प्रधानमंत्री लगातार वहां पर प्रचार कर रहे हैं और प्रधानमंत्री अपनी जनसभाओं में वहां पर जब लोगों से संवाद करते हैं तो वो अपने आप में देखने लायक होता है। गुजराती में प्रधानमंत्री जब संवाद करते हैं और जिस तरह से अपनत्व से उनसे बात करते हैं और अपनी अनूठी शैली से प्रधानमंत्री उनके मन की बात जानते हैं और उनको बताते हैं कि उनके लिए क्या कुछ किया गया है, क्या कुछ उनके लिए किया जाएगा, किस तरह से ये जो विश्वास की डोर है इसको और मजबूत किया जाएगा और इसे आगे बढ़ाया जाएगा। तो वो दृश्य अपने आप में बेहद महत्वपूर्ण हो जाते हैं, भावपूर्ण हो जाते हैं और बेहद भावपूर्ण इन दृश्यों को भी कहा जा सकता है। जो लोग वहाँ पर मौजूद हैं, जो दृश्य यहाँ पर हम देख रहे हैं, कह सकते हैं कि जो उनके चेहरे की खुशी है वो अपने आप में बेहद अनूठी है। अपने आप में उनके चेहरे की जो मुस्कुराहट है वो कहती है। और प्रधानमंत्री गाड़ी से बाहर निकलकर लोगों का अभिवादन स्वीकार करते हुए एक एक व्यक्ति के अभिवादन का जवाब दे रहे हैं। प्रधानमंत्री वहां पर सभी के अभिवादन को प्रधानमंत्री भी अपनी मुस्कुराहट से स्वीकार कर रहे हैं। और ये सूरत से प्रधानमंत्री का रोड शो, हमारे संवाददाता सुधाकर दास हमारे साथ सूरत से जुड़े हुए हैं। सुधाकर, बेहद अहम ये रोड शो हो जाता है और जिस तरह से वहां पर लोगों में हर्षोल्लास दिखाई दे रहा है, प्रधानमंत्री स्वयं जो दृश्य हम देख रहे हैं, गाड़ी से बाहर निकलकर, चलती गाड़ी से जो लोगों का अभिवादन स्वीकार कर रहे हैं, एक एक व्यक्ति के अभिवादन का जवाब देने की भी कोशिश प्रधानमंत्री कर रहे हैं। जिस तरह का प्रेम उन्हें वहां पर देखने को मिल रहा है, प्रधानमंत्री उससे दुगने प्रेम से वहां पर प्रत्युत्तर दे रहे हैं। किस तरह के ये दृश्य और कितना अहम प्रधानमंत्री का ये रोड शो हो जाता है?
बिल्कुल।
So you're looking at these live images right now coming in from Surat in Gujarat. That is the Prime Minister's roadshow. It's a super Sunday, back to back. Remember, the Prime Minister has already addressed 2 rallies in the state of Gujarat. Now, you're looking at the campaign that's now entered its last phase as the first phase of polling on 89 seats takes place on the 1st of December. Now, why is Surat so important? Surat, remember, traditionally has always been with the BJP, and there are textile diamond merchants that continue to back the party, and there are lakhs of people associated with a lot of business sector also in this particular hub. Priyanka also joins us for a quick insight as we stay live with these images. You know, Priyanka, it's a very important place right now where the Prime Minister is. It's traditionally been with the BJP for a long time, and it's no surprise with the kind of a rapturous welcome that the Prime Minister is getting right now on his roadshow.
Absolutely, Deepthi, and you put it very rightly that this is, of course, a very important place where the Prime Minister, in fact, right now is carrying out that roadshow. A very important place in terms of the entire first phase of the elections as well, Deepthi. Let's tell our viewers as to why Surat is also important. Because we had been seeing how the Aam Aadmi Party has thrown their hat in the ring to contest from all 182 constituencies this elections. And they had, in fact, started getting their foot in the door to Gujarat politics via the municipality polls, in which they had won several seats in the Surat district as well. So in the Surat Municipality Corporation, the Aam Aadmi Party had gotten several of their councillors inside, post which we had been seeing that the Surat had become a hub for the Aam Aadmi Party to contest elections, to campaign for the elections. And we have seen even today that some of the known faces of the Aam Aadmi Party nationally and at a state level as well are campaigning there in Surat. Now, to also dissect as to why Aam Aadmi Party also thinks that Surat is important for them is got more to do with the Patidar community as well, because we have seen that the Aam Aadmi Party has had their Patidar leaders on the ground who have then joined the Aam Aadmi Party. They were earlier associated with the Patidar agitation, and what they are planning on doing is trying to bank on those faces to get their followers, to get their vote banks into their own party as well. And we had seen that in 2017. Why it is also important for the BJP is because in 2017, the Patidar agitation and the Patidar community had been of utmost importance for the BJP, because of which we had seen that the BJP had had a tough fight in front of the Congress, which had most of the Patidar faces, including Hardik Patel, with them, and they were contesting with them as well. But why it is also different this time is because some of the known faces of the Patidar agitation, of course, Hardik Patel included, has now joined the BJP. And we have also seen that there is a level of in the Patidar community as well. And they have also gotten okay with the entire dynamics that have now set forth by the BJP by changing the chief minister. Because one of the demands of the Patidar community leaders had been that there should be a chief minister of the Patidar community. Earlier it was Vijay Rupani. And then now that Bhupendra Patel has been made, he is of course also a known face of the Patidar community, that he has been made the chief minister. There is a level of satisfaction in the Patidar community. Now, of course, Surat being important because we had seen in 2015
So, you know,
as well
Priyanka,
that the Patidar... Yeah.
Priyanka, what I wanted to ask you is that would it be fair then to say that Surat is actually the ground zero for Gujarat elections? You know, there are, I think, about 12 urban seats here that is considered to be the window to Saurashtra's 48 seats. And if the Aam Aadmi Party, you know, like you were actually discussing with us, if it is able to make its assembly debut, you know, people say that this is from where it's going to pick up majority of its seats.
Well, absolutely, Deepthi. You put it very rightly, because we had seen that post the municipality elections that I had just mentioned of 2021, we had seen that the BJP, in fact, was in a huddle and they were doing a post-election analysis of where they went wrong, because of which the Aam Aadmi Party was able to get so many words in there as their councillors as well. And post which they had seen that there was some level of lethargy by the BJP in Surat. They had somewhere underestimated the Aam Aadmi Party in the municipality polls, post which we have seen that the focus has been in Surat as well. So very rightly, we can absolutely say that this is one of the most important places, absolutely ground zero for the elections for the BJP, for the Aam Aadmi Party as well as Congress as well. They're in Surat trying to campaign as hard as we have seen that some of the national leaders of the Aam Aadmi Party, including Arvind Kejriwal, including Raghav Chadha, including Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann, they have been coming frequently to Surat and they have been trying to woo the voters there as well. Besides the point that they have not been given a very warm welcome by the people there, they have chanted Modi in front of Arvind Kejriwal's road shows as well. So those are also images that we have seen. But we do see that the BJP, of course, going all out there in Surat, and of course a very strategically important timeline also to note of the Prime Minister coming there in Surat, since it's just a few days before the elections. In fact, just 4 days before elections, the Gujarat, in fact, goes into elections and Surat goes into elections as well. And we have seen that the known faces of the BJP in the state-level leadership as well, including Harsh Sanghvi, including C.R. Patil, who is the state home minister and the BJP chief respectively, they both have been in Surat as well. Apart from that, we have seen that the Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel also coming to Surat and carrying out several road shows and rallies along with the Prime Minister. So we have seen that the optics of the BJP also very much setting the narrative for the Gujarat elections, and also shows us where their focus has been. Because C.R. Patil has been camped out in Surat, Harsh Sanghvi has been camped out in Surat, and even when C.R. Patil is actually not contesting elections, he's an MP. And he does not need to be there, but he is there, in fact, pushing the ground level cadre as well. And we see right now that the Prime Minister himself, very important to note the day that he has come there in Surat, the kind of roadshow that he is carrying out, roadshows essentially, and how he's also reaching out. When we look at those images, Deepti, we see that the Prime Minister reaching out to the people, waving at the people, usually seated inside of the car, but he is coming out of the car and waving at the people and meeting with the people, the ground level cadre, and the civilians as well, who have just gathered to get a glimpse of the Prime Minister as he arrives there in Surat. And of course, we see that the major leaders of the BJP, including the Union Minister, had also been descending upon Surat over the past 48 hours, where we have seen a majority of the road shows, and as the BJP at the state level likes to call it, the carpet bombing of sorts that they have been saying that the campaigning of the BJP is being carried out there in Gujarat, and also there in Surat as well. And that seems to be continuing as the Prime Minister carries out that road show. And of course, he will be, we're being told, meeting with several of the state leadership. He's going to be staying the night in Surat. So that is, of course, also very important to note how these closed-door meetings will be carried out with the state-level leadership, as I mentioned, C.R. Patil, Harsh Sanghvi, and some of the other known faces of the BJP as well, who are expected to be there in that closed-door meeting. As we see that this is, of course, a prestige battle for the BJP. It's the home state of the Prime Minister, home state of the Union Home Minister. So, of course, we are seeing them also on the ground pushing and campaigning for the state-level leaders. And we have seen that the Prime Minister himself has been stumping for the Chief Minister, Bhupendra Patel, and has been saying that Bhupendra Patel will break all records that had been set by Narendra Modi during his tenure as the Chief Minister. So this is the kind of message that the BJP is trying to send across.
But you know, Priyanka, you know, on that note, because you did speak about the Chief Minister, now, isn't that one problem that the BJP is facing? And that's going to be a challenge, you know, apart from the Prime Minister, because the Prime Minister seems to be doing all the heavy lifting. What about the other leaders? Whether, you know, it was Anandiben Patel, to Vijay Rupani, to now Bhupendra Patel, we haven't seen that kind of a popularity with any other leader. There is no second-rung leader. There is no state leader today, you know, of that much prominence that can match what the Prime Minister really brings to the table. The reason why the Prime Minister is the only star campaigner for the BJP.
It's important that you mentioned that, Deepti, and important that you asked this, because we are seeing something very interesting and something very new in the Gujarat politics campaigning, at least to the run-up to the elections that we're seeing this time. That a lot of local campaigning is something that is stressed upon by the BJP. The ground-level cadre is being more strengthened, even as we see that the Union Home Minister Amit Shah has been coming here. Rallies aside, in the nights we see those images almost every day, that the Union Home Minister Amit Shah comes out and he goes and meets to the booth level worker, the ground level cadre, which he time and time again in those rallies also reiterates that this is the ground level cadre of a party that makes or breaks the election. So that is what we are seeing this time, that even as the Union Minister and the Prime Minister himself are descending upon the state of Gujarat, we are seeing that the stress this time is more on the ground level cadre, and that is what we are seeing even as the Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel is campaigning. He is, of course, making rounds at other constituencies, but the focus has been for him to campaign there in Ghatlodya, which is his constituency, and interestingly is also used to be Anandiben Patel's constituency, and he is considered to be somebody who is very close to Anandiben Patel as well. But of course, this time she has obviously not come here this time and will be coming here to vote perhaps. But we do see that the campaigning that is being done is very rightly, as you put it, that the Prime Minister doing most of the heavy lifting, because the Prime Minister has been the face for the BJP, at least in Gujarat, even as it has been years since he has gone to Delhi and has become the Prime Minister. But for him, this is a son of the soil element that we see, at least on the ground, where people see him as the leader. and that ultimately the ground level cadre is also working for him, and by extension of that also working for the chief minister. But of course, this is something that we see in every election, that the prime minister, the home minister, both of them, campaigning there on the ground, and that is exactly the images that we see right now of the prime minister coming there in South Gujarat, in Surat. And of course, we are seeing that the stress had also been on Surat and also in several districts of North Gujarat, then be it Banaskantha.